Hi, everybody. My name is Erica Borelli. I'm here with Jesse Sims, and we're with Giant Partners, America's #1 data-driven marketing agency. I'm the client relations director here. And Jesse, what do you do?
I am the VP of Data Science here.
Or otherwise known as the Chief Data Mixologist. Jesse's been in a ton of our YouTube videos. There's a whole series about data mixology. You should go check it out. It will tell you all about data in such a fun way. And hopefully we're going to do that for you here today. As you're settling in, we'd love it if you drop in the chat your name, where you're from, what you do as far as a business, and just get settled in and we'll get this going. But while we're here, Jesse, can you tell our audience a little bit about who Giant Partners is?
Oh, absolutely. So Giant Partners is, as you mentioned, America's #1 data-driven marketing agency. And essentially what that means is that we've been in the data business for a very, very long time. I myself have been with the company a little over 20 years now.
Wow.
And you're not far behind.
I know, right?
And so, we're a data aggregator. We've been aggregating all sorts of different data for a couple of decades. And what we do with it now is we take that and we apply it to different, types of marketing online, essentially for custom audiences, retargeting, social, email, et cetera, et cetera. And so, we use that data to, convert prospects into buyers or clients or members, depending on the type of company that you have. But essentially, we provide data and we provide data-driven marketing support.
Awesome. And yeah, we're going to dig into, he gave such a great summary of who we are. We're going to dig into some of that in today's webinar, and really going to be highlighting what we do and what we've been doing here for so long is just dealing with data. We specialize in data. You're looking at the master of data. I don't know if I've met anybody who's better with data and knows, like, I can ask him a question and off the top of his head, he knows these codes for data, just like he can just spit them out there. So we're here with the man, the data man, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're going to actually, we wanted to also tell you, we do have an offer. So if you stick around, please do. This will be fun. We'll make this fun for you. It'll go by so quick. But yeah, we have an amazing offer to tell you about at the end of the webinar. So definitely hang out for that. Let's dig into, in regards to data, how we kind of get things rolling as far as when a client calls us and they're kind of new with data and they don't really know where to start, what to do there, like as far as building like a buyer persona. I like to kind of use the example, like, let's say like a car dealership calls us and they have a new fleet of vehicles, like they get some sports cars in and they get a batch of minivans in that they want to sell. And I always say, you don't want to sell those to the same audience. Who are those buyer personas? Who would buy a minivan versus a sports car? And you kind of got to dig in and get creative with, and just take a step back. Who's going to buy that product? And if you're going to send out something like a mailer, you want to get the best return on your investment because mailing is expensive. Any form of marketing, you're spending some money. So you want to be smart with who you're marketing to, build those buyer personas. That's what we specialize in. We understand each vertical. When I say vertical, I'm talking about insurance, home improvement, any type of industry. So we can kind of help you build those personas. But yeah, just think about it. A person who's going to buy a minivan isn't necessarily going to be interested in a sports car and vice versa. So that's the best example. I don't know if you have any better examples or anything to add to that, Jesse.
No, 100%. And there are, a ton of different buyer personas that we can look at. And there's a lot of different ways that we can use the data, right? I mean, these days there's direct mail, there's email marketing, and then there's internet marketing. And by that, I would mean social and putting data into LiveRamp and doing retargeting and certain things like that, right? So, what we've learned is that the multi-channel approach, where you're really targeting people, through that direct mail, and then doing an email supporting it, and then doing, that retargeting and supporting it with Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these other channels is really, going to give you that 400% lift, right? Where you get 4 times as many people looking at your ads and actually, replying. But to your point, that buyer persona is super, super important, right? It's going to tell you, how somebody responds to something. If they like getting that mail piece and looking at it and go, oh gosh, I'm going to call in, or I'm going to go down to the dealership and I'm going to take a look and kick the tires, versus, do I want an email that I can maybe just, kind of passively not respond to and wait for later and then go, okay, I'm going to go back to it. Or do I just want to scroll through my Insta and start seeing ads and go, oh, I'm going to buy that now.
Right.
So those are all cool different ways that people respond. In terms of personas, though, I would say like our company video. I always think about that, right? You've got the family that likes to go surfing. Yeah, they're going to they're going to go buy that minivan, right? Yeah. You've got the businessman that is a jet setter. That's the sports car guy, right? So you're gonna have to think about. Do I look at what somebody already owns? Do they maybe have an exotic or a sports car? Do I put them in one group? Do I look at families with children between certain ages or number of children? And that maybe goes in the minivan SUV group, and kind of group it that way. And then, above and beyond all that, when it comes to auto, you've got the intenders, right? You've got people that have a vehicle that's probably 3 years, maybe 5, 6 years old in that range that have a like vehicle or a competitive make or something like that. And you go, hey, that's perfect. I'm selling a Benz. I want people that have Mercedes, and I'm going to show them how my Benz drives better than your Mercedes.
Wow. Right? Yeah.
So
see, this is amazing. I was telling you how awesome he is with data, and just you can kind of hear how his mind works. But that's what we're all doing here when we're talking to our new clients or clients that have been buying from us for years. We're always brainstorming on who can we target. Sometimes we have clients that buy the same criteria over and over again, and eventually that data kind of gets exhausted. So you have to get creative and think, okay, what are other angles? Like he just gave a perfect example of that, of different ways we can go about targeting an audience. There's maybe just a little adjustment we can make with the data to pinpoint a fresher, more responsive audience. So you mentioned a lot about, the different channels, different marketing channels that are being used right now, from direct mail to YouTube to Instagram. I mean, I guess for somebody who's just walking into this, as far as just looking for more information on digital marketing and how to approach that, I mean, that could sound intimidating. Can you explain how we kind of spearhead that for our clients if they're new to digital marketing, and how we can kind of take that burden off their shoulders?
Sure. So what we use our data for when it comes to, buyer personas and kind of, where we place the data is to create what we call a custom audience. And that custom audience can be based on a lookalike of, somebody's, clients, if they at least have a few thousand clients or prospects. And we can take those and we can do a mirror image and say, hey, here's more prospects that look exactly like the ones that have already bought from you, or look exactly like your clientele, or something like that. Or we can go into our database and make, decisions, educated decisions. Like, I'm selling solar, so I know I need somebody that has a single family home and they're owner occupied and they're in an upper middle neighborhood and kind of a boomer. Right. And these are the people that buy solar, as an example. So we know some of the personas that we can go, all right, I'm going to pull that list. I'm going to make that database into a custom audience. Then I'm going to take that custom audience list and I'm going to upload it into the Facebook ad manager, and I'm going to show my ads just to those people. Now, why am I going to do that, right? That audience is already pre-qualified, which means I know I want them to see my ad and all the impressions that I can give them. And then secondarily, because I've already targeted that audience, Facebook's going to charge me less to actually show those impressions. And then my conversion is going to be more because of that pre-qualification. So using the data in that kind of manner as a custom audience really has those two benefits. And, when we use the data ourselves and we run campaigns on behalf of our clients, we're constantly iterating on, is that the right audience? Are they responding more to email? Are they responding more to Facebook, to Instagram, et cetera, et cetera? And then we kind of, tune up the campaigns as they go. If it's an e-com campaign, it's a conversion path optimization. If it's a lead gen campaign, it's just, campaign optimization. But that's essentially how we use it. And that's the data that we can serve up to our clients that are skilled at this type of profession as well.
Awesome. Well, as far as like how we use data to gauge when we start a digital campaign. How do we use data to kind of gauge the success of a campaign from beginning to end? How would you address that? I get that question a lot.
Well, I mean, it depends on your campaign goals, first of all.
Yeah.
Right? If you're an e-com campaign and your goal is selling something, that's probably the easiest one, because you're looking at, how much money did I spend to advertise versus how many sales did I make?
Right.
And then seeing, where somebody fell off in that conversion path and kind of making those iterations. So e-com's really easy to kind of tell you if you've been profitable and you've kind of met your cost per acquisition goals. In lead generation campaigns, it's a little bit tougher because you're looking at an overall cost per lead, and you've got different channels giving you different leads, and then each channel is going to perform differently. And what I mean by that is that, you could probably make a lead in Facebook, right, for like $2 or $3. And, that person could be looking for a hearing aid and filling in their information and saying, yeah, give me a call, and then maybe not convert, versus somebody that you sent an email message or a direct mail message to with the same offer that calls in and converts a little bit better. So in those particular campaigns, what we need to do is look at the analytics back from the CRM and see, all right, how many leads did I generate here? What was my cost per lead? And then how did they convert? And you take all of those three into account, and you get your overall CPA, and you can tell which channel's working, which channel isn't, and then which ones to kind of make iterations on.
Cool. And when we're managing a campaign, a digital campaign for our clients, we can make adjustments on the fly. We need to put more ad spend towards Facebook and Instagram because this audience isn't responding as much on, LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever channels out there. That's
no one's opened the email.
Yeah,
Let's get away from the email, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard a lot of, we had a lot of questions about branding. Like, what's the most effective channel for just branding and getting your name out there? What would you recommend?
So for branding, I mean, social and YouTube, I would say, are probably the best. And I think that you would also get into a lot of influencer marketing, micro-influencer marketing, things like that, that is a little bit less data centric if you're looking at branding. For instance, we've got a client that is a startup in the pet space, and they're a tech company. And one of their big pushes is definitely going to be on Instagram, because everyone buys $20, $50, $100 products on Instagram, right? You're scrolling, oh, I want to buy that. And you just buy it right there. So that's going to be a big push, of course. And Facebook, is going to be a big push. But then influencers is going to be huge, especially for pets or kids or anything like that. So on the branding side, I would say social, YouTube, and then influencer marketing, affiliate marketing, that sort of stuff.
Got it. Awesome. Hey, and if you guys have any questions while we're talking here, we're going to get to those at the end of the webinar. So feel free to drop those in the chat section. We'd love to, hear from you. And also, if you do have a need for any of our services and you're looking for answers right now, you can call us. They're going to drop the number at the bottom of the screen, and you can speak with a representative right now if you want. Let's get into some of the data services that we offer in addition to buyer personas, custom audiences. Let's talk about appending. How is that beneficial to someone who's had a customer database for a while? I mean, what kind of value does that bring? What is that, number one, for those who don't know, and how can we better serve our customers with that service?
Appending services.
Yeah.
So appending and data hygiene, in my mind, go hand in hand, right? So you've got a database of customers, of prospects, whatever, and you want to clean that up, right? You want to add additional, contact details to it. You want to append on demographics, et cetera. Well, where do you start, right? So you take that database essentially and you run it through a national change of address program first, and that standardizes your data. It tells you who's moved, who still lives there, and maybe what's a bad address, and how we can address that bad address we'll get to in a little bit. But you've got now the good addresses and the moves, and you go, okay, now I've got a name and address of somebody that I can match to a different data set. And what that data set's going to do is going to give me an additional email address, an additional phone number, so I have additional ways of contacting Okay, cool. And I can also add things on there like, do they have kids? Do they have pets? What kind of education level? Different interests, things like that. And in doing that, you can then also do, custom offers to those clients if you wanted to segment them. For instance, your farmer's insurance, and this month you're offering a discount to people that own minivans, right?
Yeah.
Or you're offering a discount to families with teenage drivers, things of that nature, right? So if you wanted to segment your current customer base or prospect base with some of those fields and then serve them a custom offer, appending is a great way of doing that. Appending is also a great way of finding out commonalities between your clients.
Ooh.
So when we talk about, doing a lookalike or a mirror audience, there's 10 very, very specific fields that we look at, right? Lifestyle, age, income, gender, presence of children, marital status, length of residence, religion, certain things like that. And we can see, all right, what does everybody have in common here? Does everybody here have $1 million house and higher? Has everyone here lived in their house for 20 years? I know in my neighborhood, no one sells, no one leaves, right? So you can kind of see some of these trends, or does everyone here have a dog?
Right.
All of these sorts of things. So appending can be good for custom offers and then looking at what everyone has in common. Those would be the kind of 2 points. And to the data hygiene side, if you find someone with a bad address, right, after you've done that NCOA and you want to go, how do I get a hold of that person? They've been on my mailing list for so long, they haven't been getting anything from us because it's probably getting returned. And so if you have other data points like a phone number or an email, then we can take that and we can look in our data and we can go, hey, I have a current address based on this phone number or based on this email address, and then serve that back to you and go, hey, this is the correct info for your prospect.
There you go.
So
I always get annoyed when I get direct mail from an old homeowner. I know they lived there like 5-10 years ago. It's like, dude, I don't live. You gotta do this data hygiene thing because you're wasting money on mail.
Postage is expensive.
Yeah.
I've had it where people, 2 owners before me, I'm still getting their mail. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just like, I don't know, for me, it makes the brand look, I know they mean well, but and maybe it's because I'm in marketing, but it kind of makes the brand look a little bit bad. Like, okay, they're just whipping stuff out there. They're not paying attention to who their audience is. And I think a lot of people are more aware of just like marketing strategies that companies are using right now because it's everywhere. It's in your face all the time. And if you're getting offers that aren't really relevant to your interests, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or in the mail or even a telemarketing call, it's just kind of annoying. It kind of rubs people the wrong way. At least it rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, at least give me something that I actually want to buy, and do some work on your part to understand who your audience is. And it actually is better for you as a company. You will increase your sales. You'll trim the fat. You won't spend as much money on marketing. And that's what we're all about. We want to give you the most bang for your buck. So speaking of bucks, we're going to get into our offer, which is, like I said, very exciting. And we want to offer you $500 toward any service that we provide, whether it's a direct mail list, an email list. If you are interested in digital marketing, it would be $500 off your first monthly payment. You can buy a custom audience. We can do, buyer personas, any of that. So basically anything we do here, $500 towards that. So that's a big deal. So we would love to talk to you again. You can call us. The number will be below. You can also email Jesse or myself if you have any questions. Jesse, it's JESSE @giantpartners.com. And then, they got it. They're on it. So yeah, email us if you do have any questions. And again, I'm just going to check here and see if anyone has any questions. It looks like we're good to go.
Yeah, this is all about relevance, right?
Yes.
You want to serve the right ad at the right time to the right people.
Yep.
And so hopefully our offer is relevant.
I know, right?
Yeah,
is that useful to you? I would say $500 toward, there's no strings attached or anything. We want to get to know you. We want to see if we can help you. Whether you're new or whether you've been doing this for a really, really long time. We've 5,000 clients. How many clients have we had?
I think 7. I
7,
want to say we have 4,000 in the portal, 2,000 active, and we've got like 7,000 and change all time.
From Fortune 500 to small mom and pop, any size of business, we can help.
And one thing, speaking about relevance, after the whole iOS change,
Oh, yeah.
that was a big thing, and we didn't really talk about that too much on this webinar. But it affected some companies worse than others.
Yep.
In terms of targeting their audience. And one of the huge benefits of using those custom audiences and saying, hey, this is who I want to target, this is who I want to show my ads to, is that if you've been able to pre-qualify them accurately, that you no longer have to rely on Apple or rely on anybody else and Facebook's lookalike or Google's lookalike or anything like that. You can specifically go, this is the data that I want to show my ads to. These are the people. And that kind of avoids any of those other companies becoming an issue in your marketing efforts. So
no, that would be interesting to talk about in more detail. I know we've kind of touched on that in the past, but hearing that information from you, I think would really benefit our audience. There's a way around it, and it's not like this marketing dead end. There's definitely some advantages actually that are present through that kind of stifling action by Apple. So we have the answers in regards to that, and it's pretty exciting. So our team is always on the up and up. They're paying attention to all the marketing trends, and if we have to make adjustments, or we're always transparent too about what's going on. So we want to hear from you. So again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. If not, I think we're gonna close up unless you have anything else.
I'm good.
We're good.
Good to go.
All right. Yeah.
Again, you want to share that offer one more time?
Oh, $500 toward any service that we provide here. If you need a marketing list, a digital marketing campaign, that $500 is good to go. So give us a call today, shoot us an email, and we're looking forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye.